All right, so introduce yourself, why you started the team, and like, you know what I'm saying? Just tell YouTube about your team.
You too. I'm Coach Shaq, aka the director of the Memphis Maniacs. I started the team because I wanted to help the youth out. I got three sons myself on 6U, 8U, and 10U. I just wanted to do something positive for the kids, keep them out of trouble. Just keep them active and busy. Instead of in a house playing these video games, just keep them out and keep them in the sports and bring the youth back.
Okay, so what is your team based around?
It's based around on responsibility, accountability, discipline, things like that. We're just trying to teach these young kids, the positive way of growing up, because one day they're gonna become, young men, and they just gotta grow up and show them the right way, how to grow up and become positive.
Okay, so you said how many age groups you got?
I got 4 age groups.
4 age groups, what are those?
I got 6U, 8U, 10U, and 12U, and I also got a bonus age group. They the travel team at the 14U.
So what's the 14U?
They're just the older kids from 13 to 14. They actually travel and go out of town to play football. They do that during the off season.
During the off season?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that like during the summer?
No, that's during the winter time.
Oh,
like
winter time,
after the
okay.
season over with.
Okay. You said you got 3 sons out here, right?
Yes.
10U, 8U,
10U, 8U, and 6U.
Okay. Are they good?
Oh yeah. I'm starting my baby boy off very early. He's 4 years old on the 6U, so I'm starting him off early. My son on the 8U, he's the quarterback, and my son's on the 10U. He play middle linebacker and tight end.
Okay. So with having a football team, I know it takes a lot of discipline, especially with little kids. So, and teenagers too.
Mm-hmm.
So how does discipline, come into your football team?
Oh, discipline is the #1 rule we keying in on this year. Discipline take you a long way in life. If you're not disciplined in life, like you cannot go anywhere. Like you have to be disciplined. Even when you become an adult, you have to be disciplined in life. You have to stay disciplined at all times, because a bad incident or something negative, it can hurt you a long way in life. So just stay positive, stay disciplined as much as you can.
Okay. So with your team just now, so is this considered like tryouts or conditioning?
Yes, right now we in the stages of trials and conditioning right now. Come next week we will go into full pads, and the hard part begin next week. Right now just trials and conditioning, and see who actually want to play the sports of football. Every kid don't like it. We're not forcing any kid to like the sport, but I do encourage every kid to come out at least try.
So with that being said, remind me of my last question. So is everybody out here that you like kind of want? Well, I ain't gonna say want to be out here, but is your team still open to new people, or is it like we kind of full?
Oh, we always open to new people. We open all the way up to August in the deadline. We can't accept no more kids. But right now we're open to ages from 5 to 13. All age groups. Like parents, y'all got kids in the house. Y'all want to find them something to do for the summertime? Please bring them out to the Memphis Maniac. We right here in East Memphis, right across the street from New Direction at 3500 Ridgeway Road.
And you from Memphis also?
I'm also from Memphis, born and raised.
Born and raised in Memphis. All right, Coach Shaq. I'll let you get back to practice then.
All right.
All right, so which coach are we here with today?
This Coach Yak, you know what I'm saying? 6U head coach. Coach Yak.
All right, Coach Yak. So are you from Memphis or you out of town?
I'm originally from Miami, but I moved to Memphis when I was 13 probably, with my dad, and I've been there ever since. I love it. So
You love it out here?
yeah, love it.
Despite all the violence and everything.
Yeah. Hey, violence everywhere.
Yeah,
Just
true.
a smaller place where the violence occurs, so it seems like it's more. But it's about the same.
Okay. So Coach Yak, what age group do you coach?
I currently coach 6U. Currently coach 6U. When I first started, I was coaching 6U. I was assistant coach for 6U and 8U, but now I'm the head coach for 6U.
Okay. So do you are you coaching like over everything, offense, defense, QBs, receivers, O linemen, D linemen?
So yeah, I'm trying to. What we try to do is get 3 coaches, 1 head coach over the entire thing, 1 defensive coach and 1 offensive coach. Then we all coordinate together and try to come up with something, you know what I'm saying, as a unit. It makes it easier, depending on how much coaches you got per, age group.
Yeah. Okay. So what made you come to the Memphis Maniacs and start coaching?
Me and Coach Shaq been friends since high school. Literally, we graduated together. So I always been sports oriented. I played baseball, I swam, I played basketball, I played every sport. So when I seen Coach Shaq was getting the organization started, I had to have my name somewhere on there. I had to do something for the kids just to get back. And then I grew up in this right around the corner by Kirby Middle. So it's just real close to home, doing something to impact my own community. Nothing better than that.
Okay. So you kind of already answered it a little bit, but what made you want to coach the 6U, the smallest kids?
The 6U, okay. I like coaching 6U, but it's not easy. But I like coaching 6U because they soak up all the information that you get, and it's nice to see progression. And when you start off with 6U, you see progression long term. You see them go from 6U to 8U to 10U to 12U. Versus if I only coach 10U, some of the kids I wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to see the kids grow up and be on better teams and see them develop. And both as a football player, a leader, just the qualities it's nice to see the progression.
Okay. So and then you kind of answered the next question after that too. So why do you love coaching? Why do you love coaching the kids?
I love coaching the kids just because I remember what a big impact my coach had on me. I remember, I had a dad at home and everything like that, but my coach was that stern. I was more scared of my cousin than I was my dad sometimes. Yeah. So I know I had to see him every day. And those push-ups and those 6 inches and those everything he had me doing, yeah. So it's nice to have that type of impact on the next generation.
Okay. So last question, do you think that you would probably go to a different age group, probably sometime in the near future, or at all, from 6U to 8U or 10U, or would you like to stay at 6U?
6U is cool. I mean, I feel like I'll go wherever I'm needed, to be honest. Like, I love just coaching. So I mean, each different age group has its pros and its cons, but if they need me at 6U, I'm at 6U. If they need me at 8, 10, 12, that's where I'm at. Just wherever I can make the biggest impact and wherever the team feels like I can make it.
So a very versatile coach.
Yeah, very versatile.
Very versatile. Okay. I know that was the last question, but I'm going to ask you one more.
Go ahead. It's not the first team I done played for either. So.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, I didn't coach for Bartlett. I coached for Bartlett for 2 years. Okay. But Maniacs, again, Bartlett, I mean, it's kind of far from home. Mm-hmm. So it's,
It's like 30, 40 minutes from here.
Yeah, I currently stay out that way, but this is where I grew up, so it's better than,
Yeah, I know gas be affecting you.
It's all good, though.
Yeah. All love for the sport.
Yeah.
And the kids. So, how many years have you been coaching?
I've been coaching for 5 years.
Okay, 5. All 5? No, not all 5. How many at Memphis Maniacs?
Memphis Maniacs was my first year. Then I coached for Bartlett for 3 years. Also, this is my 5th year. This is my 5th year, so I'm back at Memphis Maniacs.
Okay.
Bartlett was cool, but
So, last question. With you, knowing how to be a head coach of a small team, do you think that it would be, like, have you ever thought about being a head coach of your own team? Like, because I know you're part of the coaching staff at Memphis Maniacs, but Shaq is the head coach. So, sometimes coaches, be like a director of your own team.
I feel like I probably will like to do something like that, but if that is a possibility, I think it will be like in the far future. Just because, I just hit the mic. Just because part of me liking what I do is because I'm doing it with my peers. And me having to step out and do it with myself, it's not like I can necessarily take my peers with me because they already got their own thing going. So I have to build new peers, build a new team. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So
yeah.
I have to build a new family, and I very much like my family. So.
Yeah. Well, all right, Coach Jack, that's the end of this part. So I'll let you get back to it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what coach we here with today?
My name is Pt1 Robbins. I coach 8U for the Memphis Maniacs.
Okay. Okay, 8U. So that's like in between
The age group like 7 and 8.
7.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so coach, you said coach.
Yeah, Coach DJ.
Coach DJ. Okay, Coach DJ. So what made you come to the Memphis Maniacs?
Man, honestly, so my original job was EMS. Didn't really like doing that too much. I really helped them stay off the streets instead of them having to come see me on my ambulance. So that was my main reason of coming out here.
Okay. So how was you able to come out here? Like, did Shaq come to you? You came to Shaq?
So my brother is actually Skip. So he took my nephew's play here and just hit the ground running ever since.
Okay. What age group your nephews in?
10 and 12.
10 and 12. Okay. So you said you coach 8U.
Yeah.
So you the head coach over 8U?
Nah, Shaq still, I'm just offense coordinator.
Oh, the offense coordinator. Okay. So do you coach the receivers, quarterbacks?
Yeah, the whole offense.
Okay. On the scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it, coaching 8U?
It got its days. I'm gonna say about an 8. They got their days. I mean, they kids. They come out here. They don't really want to do stuff. They don't want to listen. But overall, they listen a lot. So they're pretty good kids.
Okay. So why do you like coaching 8U? Why do you love coaching 8U?
Man, just to interact with the kids, keep them off the streets. Definitely. In our community, it's not the best community. So if I can do anything to keep the kids off the streets, I'm all here for it.
Okay. So with you being a coach, how did you come about to be a coach?
Man, so I've always loved sports. So, I've always wanted to coach after I got done playing. So I just was so happy to be lucky enough to get a spot here.
Okay. So in Shaq's interview, one of the main cores of the Memphis Maniacs was discipline. So how do you take in discipline for your 8U?
Man, hold them accountable. Even though they're 8, I hold them accountable. I teach them, you look a man in the eyes, all of it. So it's a big part, not even just in football, just in life in general. You got to be disciplined. You got to have integrity to thrive in this world. And, it starts young. You beat it in their head young, they have it when they grow up.
Okay. So would you say that the lessons that y'all teach here at Memphis Maniacs, they can use for their entire life?
Oh, big time.
Like, what would be a couple of those lessons that they can use?
Man, just being held accountable to themselves. No matter your age, I tell them, even when I'm coaching them, you look me in my eye while I'm talking to you. When they talk, they gotta look me in my eye. Just one thing that a man's supposed to do. And then integrity is one of the biggest things for me. If you ain't got integrity, you can't be a man.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if I asked, but how easy is it coaching 8U? Or how hard is it coaching 8U?
Man, you asked that, but man, it's hard, but it's easy at the same time. Like, they don't really get the full football gesture completely yet. They got a concept of it. Most of them, they see their favorite players. That's what they want to do instead of learning the basics. So I would say that's the difficult part of getting them to know the fundamentals before they, I want to be Tyreek Hill. I want to be Lamar Jackson. Getting them to know the fundamentals of it and know that, hey, it's not all about the scoring, because sometimes you gotta be the good teammate, and that's on and off the field. So I'll say that's probably the biggest difficulty. But even then, these kids learning fast. As long as you catch them at a young age, they learn fast.
Yeah. So if there was newcomers coming to the team from this interview, what would be a couple things that you can tell them coming into the team? Yeah, for the players coming into the team.
Man, just come in, be ready to work, be ready to be held accountable to your actions on and off the field. That's including in a classroom, and be ready to win.
Be ready to win. So, are y'all a winning team?
Oh yeah, we got a winning coach over here.
No,
we gonna have a winning coach this year.
Y'all have a winning coach this year?
Yeah, we winning over here.
Okay then. How was last year?
I won coaching last year,
so
yeah, I don't really know what their record was, but I heard that I think they made it to the championship game. So we're gonna keep that winning coaching over here.
Okay. So how this your first year?
Yeah, this is my first year.
First year. Okay.
Yeah, last year I was just watching my nephews play. But this year I came out of coach.
So have you well, this being your first year, but well, I can't really ask that then. Because I was gonna ask, have you seen any kids come through the team? but this your
Besides
first
my
year.
nephews, yeah. I would say,
Yeah.
yeah. Just my nephews.
Let's see. Let me ask you one more question. So, what do you love most about coaching for this team?
Man, just being out here. One, I love football, so anytime I can get close to football, I love it. And then, being able to coach it, show them the right way to play it. That's my biggest joy of it.
So, with y'all team being the best out here, what would you say that separates y'all from other teams in the area?
What separates us, I'm gonna say, our discipline. A lot of teams don't hold their players accountable. You get held accountable over here.
Yeah.
So even my goal is to not only make them into great football players, but to make them into great young men as well. That's the big key. Make them into respectable young men. Football comes second.
All right, Coach DJ, I ain't gonna hold you no longer.
All right, appreciate it.
Let's get back to it.
All right.
All right, so who we with today?
Coach Rowe, AU offensive and defensive line.
All right, Coach Rowe. So how long you been with the Memphis Maniacs?
Going into my 3rd year with the Maniacs since they started up, actually.
Okay. So what made you want to be a coach here with the Memphis Maniacs?
To be honest, man, when I came out here, I was just a regular parent. I brought my boy out here, and I liked what they were doing. I liked the vibe, the atmosphere. I liked the way they was treating the kids, and I wanted to help out. I kind of just volunteered, and they welcomed me with open arms, man.
Okay. So with you wanting to be the coach and all, and you said you coached 10U? AU?
Yeah.
All right. So with you coaching, I interviewed Shaq about one of the main cores here at Memphis Maniacs, and he said discipline was the very main one. So how do you interpret discipline into coaching that 8U lineman?
Man, it's really my biggest thing would be to hold them accountable, man. So I try to break it down, simplify it with them being so young, stances, stars, first step. But the discipline comes in when they're being held accountable. Hey, if you can't get these simple things right, we're going to up, down, we're going to get our feet chopping, we're going to run laps. It's just a sense of accountability, right? So it's kind of working hand in hand with the discipline, because if you can't stay in your assignment on the line, you're going to ruin the play, whether that's offense or defense. It all starts up front with them.
Okay. So with that being said, that they can, without discipline, they can ruin the play. How would you interpret that into being a lesson for life for them that they can use throughout football, through school, through getting the car, get a job?
I mean, you gotta sports overall, right? Not even just necessarily the discipline aspect or the accountability, but the fact that you've been in a team environment. You learn how to be a small part of something that's bigger than your actual self, right? So doing your part, doing your job in the grand scheme, it makes the entire team better. So in life, whenever you become a husband, right, or a father, you have to provide for their family. These young men out here, so we want to build them up, build a character in them where they understand their foundation, and it starts out here.
Okay. So if you were to go out recruiting, if Shaq would have you to go, like let's say a mall, and go out, try to recruit for the team, and you're recruiting for your positions, the D lineman, O lineman, what would be some encouraging words that you can tell either the parents or the child that Memphis Maniacs is the best team for you to play?
I most definitely. I would say to them that, hey, look, we hard working. We're gonna come out here. We're gonna invest in your children, right? They don't have to be the best. They don't have to be the worst. But we gonna individually invest in each kid, right? We want to build them up. We want to teach them the core values and the foundations of not just football, but being a young man, right? We hold them accountable for their schoolwork. We hold them accountable for the way they are at home. We hold them accountable for what they're doing out here on this football field. So if they allow their children to come to us on the Memphis Maniacs, they'll be a better young man when they come away from it.
Okay. Now this is kind of out of the direction type of question, but you mentioned school. And I know that when I played football when I was younger, that school always came first before football. If we weren't doing right in school, we're gonna play football. But a lot of teams, well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some teams, they are like where if they're doing bad in school, then they pay it no mind. Like they try to play blind just because that player is a star player or they're a good player. You know what I'm saying? So how do y'all take what they do in school and, you know, transfer to the field?
It most definitely come first because throughout their careers, whether they go to college or high school or however far they make it, it's going to always be school first, always, no matter what. And we're going to be led by the parents. If we get parents to come out here and report that our athletes are not performing in the classroom, they coming off the field, they're going to bear crawl, they're going to run left, they're going to do whatever in regards to the punishment because that's going to come first. And if it comes Saturday and it's game time and mama say it's a no-go, or they haven't improved in the classroom, then we'll make the call that it's a no-go, and that's fine, no matter how good they are.
Okay. And this will be the last question for the interview. Now, I know that being a coach, everybody has to be on one accord. Like as far as coach staff and you know, trying to coach the kids also. So how important is it for coaches all to be on one accord? Because throughout every interview, a lot of y'all said, you know, a lot of the same stuff, accountability as far as discipline. Y'all discipline about the same for real. Y'all always say that y'all always held them accountable for their actions. Like they mess up, you know what I'm saying? Discipline. So how would you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think, man, if the coaches are not on the same page, how can you build a team up together? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We are a reflection of them. They're a reflection of us. So the more in sync we are, the more in sync our team will be. We always be constantly texting, we constantly sharing ideas. And we led Shaq and 50, of course, they're the directors. We follow their lead. Everybody follow in line, follow in place as to what they want. They let us know what they expected, and we put it together.
All right. Well, appreciate you, Coach Rowe, for the interview. I'll let you get back to practice.